Welcome back to a new video. So this is training from, oh my goodness, Wednesday and Thursday. I had a bit of a brain fart, but Wednesday training went really well. I did snatch doubles, did them at 95. I only had one hiccup on the fourth set where I kind of had a makey miss on the first one, but I was able to make the next two doubles. I kind of had a makey miss with 90, but the working sets were at 95, and I was happy with how they were feeling. Did them without straps and all of that, so that was all hunky-dory. Then for clean jerks, did 135 for clean front squat and jerk, and they didn't feel fantastic. The jerks certainly weren't as crispy as they were on Monday when I had the lighter weight, and that could just be because the weight was heavier or whatever. But I don't know, I just didn't feel like I had that same pop with the bar as I had earlier, even as I was warming up. But probably more so because of the weight than anything else. And I don't know, for it being 135, it's not too bad. And I do like how I'm doing multiple singles or multiple sets with the same weights. With snatches, I've done multiple times before, but with clean jerks, it's usually a bit harder to do volume, and been doing pretty good at getting it. After the clean jerk stuff, I did some front squats, which honestly by that time I was kind of tired, and I had been talking with people at the gym for a while, just shooting the breeze, and I don't want to say I got like cold or whatever, but I just wasn't really too motivated after that point, and ended up missing 175, which just felt really heavy. Like I just kind of wasn't like it slipped or anything like that, just didn't have it in me. And it is what it is, and I think some of that is fatigue still from that Monday squat session, probably still for that one, or maybe I'm just coping and I'm just bad at front squats, which is also very true, but I'm sure it's a little bit of both. But on this day, I don't think I did any accessory work, or maybe no, I did band work. That's what I did. I didn't do any machine stuff. I just worked on the bands and did tricep extensions and some, like, I don't know, lateral type shoulder stuff or whatever. But just got some hypertrophy, mostly in the triceps, and then that was really about it, about all she wrote for the day. This is the last set there. Session Thursday was a really light one, so my day, I had everything planned out perfect. Not that I was going to do like a crazy session, but at school I brought I bought 2 drinks in addition to my coffee, so I had 3 drinks today. One had just a tiny bit of Gatorade powder and creatine, so that was going to be like, after I finished my coffee, that was going to be like what I sip on, just so I can have more hydration essentially. And then I also had my pre-workout. The fun part of my pre-workout is that it spilled all over my bag, so I don't know how much pre-workout I actually had today, because I just put 1 scoop in, as I normally do, which would be 200 milligrams, but I have no idea how much spilled, or what, how that all worked out. I will say, like, I was certainly very tired. I ended up trying to train at the house, which isn't the best factor of having a really good training session. I also wasn't really wanting to do any, like, I wasn't really hyper motivated, so I think I had a lot of factors working against me. Plus, Fridays I like to push a little bit more. It's a heavier singles of the week, so I didn't really have like a ton of motivation to kind of grind through a difficult session. If I'm going to be lazy and do an easier session, Thursdays are usually a good day for that. And it's been honestly a pretty common thing for me for probably a couple years at this point, to where Thursdays are not really like a bad day of training, but it's kind of like I'm tired from the other days of training. The week of work is kind of there, and then you kind of get that gust of energy because it's the weekend on that Friday. So I don't know if it's I'm sure it's a combination of things, but ended up just pressing a little bit, and pressing out of the rack without weightlifting shoes, which pressing out of the rack is so much more difficult than pressing from the ground. Looking at the reps I did, the speed of them actually wasn't too bad, which was weird because they felt really difficult. But I just did sets of 3. I think I did like 5 sets of 3 with 82, because that was originally what I was going to potentially try for sets of 8, but doing them out of the rack did not give me any confidence to try anything more than 3. And I also kind of used that as an excuse to make sure that I was pressing in the correct plane, so I wasn't like twisting crazily as I do with heavy attempts. So I was just trying to be really precise with the bar path with it. So I still got some benefit out of it, and it's still feeling difficult. Obviously, get some good shoulder work in that sense. But after doing the 5 sets, I did one, and you'll kind of see how I did it, just one kind of big set of pen lay rows with that same 82 kilos, so nothing too heavy. And I haven't done rows in quite a while, so I'll be interested if I get sore or anything, but I've been doing a lot of upper body stuff, so I would imagine probably not. But it honestly wasn't really that terribly cold outside. It was probably like in the 30s, I think, or maybe not quite to 30, but certainly wasn't unbearably cold. It's just one of those days where I was like, I don't really feel like doing, push presses or just really working out for very long. And I kind of had that feeling like when I was going in, I was kind of procrastinating. I was like, I know it's not going to be a great day. I don't have like grandiose plans for the day. It's like I just need to go out and at least press and at least get something done, and then say that I've done my training session. Besides all that, though, which is not really, I guess, terribly interesting in itself, what is more interesting is I've actually been hitting the rower pretty hard as far as like cardio, and I've still been doing the 1,000-meter rows, and so my current best is 3 minutes and 21 seconds, which I don't know if that's good or bad. It just is what it is. But usually, like I think I did it twice today. It's probably why I feel tired now. All the steps at school and rowing in the morning and now. But I find it more interesting, at least to myself, because I get some of that cardiovascular, that heavy breathing, and it only takes 3.5 minutes. Plus, it gives me something to push towards, so I want to push faster. The only problem is I have a pretty cheap rower, and at least when I weighed myself this morning, it was like 238. So I'm sliding. That thing slides a little bit. So I have a extra 55-pound plate. When I originally, or I guess when I had the old gym with my friend back in the day, we were trying to have the gym business. So a story for another day, I suppose. But when we ordered plates back then, Titan sent us an extra 55-pound plate, which isn't terribly useful, but I have it. And so we had been using it for a while for nothing, and then actually used it for a step for the Beagle when he lived at the house, Charlie, for him to step up to the water bowl. So he had an easier time to get up to it because he's a little bit shorter than the other dog. But now I use it. I put it under the rower to help it from pulling back and sliding on the floor, which it does a pretty good job of. But I'm an absolute unit, so I'm still sliding it a little bit, the rower in the other direction as well. So it does a lot better of a job, because I was actually like sliding quite a bit when I was trying to row quickly. But I'm not trying to break any records or anything. But it is interesting because I am getting that that heavy heart rate is going up, I suppose, is the biological thing. But like I am giving that like heavy breathing from the cardio aspect of it. But it does go a lot faster. I'm not trying to row for 10 minutes to burn a certain amount of calories. To say I burned a certain amount of calories, I'm trying to pump my heart rate up a little bit. So who knows what effect, if all, that will have on training. But I think that's just a generally a good thing to be doing. I think if anything, it'll probably help like recovery between sets and stuff. But I don't think it will really have too much of a negative impact, because it's not as if I'm like it. I don't feel like I'm needing to recover from those sessions really that rapidly or that long. Like I'm not fatigued from those for more than 5 minutes after, and then I'm basically like I haven't done anything. I've thought about doing multiple of them before, but I also don't want to get addicted to doing cardio and have it actually impact my training. But I'm also curious to see if it has any impact on my body weight. I'm not trying to necessarily cut weight or anything, but I'm just kind of eating the same things over and over, and then adding that in and just kind of experimenting to see, I don't know, maybe I lose 3 pounds or whatever with that. It wouldn't be the worst thing, but just kind of curious the effect of it. And if anything, it's just good for cardiovascular health and just being more well-rounded in fitness. But anywho, that's it for this one. So if you made it to this point, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you all in the next one. Peace.